Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty. We are free at last. I am out of medical purgatory, guys. And I just got out of hospitals. I'll not be setting a foot in a hospital for hopefully the rest of my life. But a lot of you guys wanted to know what was going on. So I wanted to just catch you guys up. I have survived. Some of you know, some of you do not know, but I had to go on the Asia medical arc to get some surgeries for athletic performance because I have some injuries that happened to me over the years. And I just wanted to catch everybody up and tell everybody about what happened. So what's up to everybody? Good to see you guys here. My homeboy Buzz Mulda, what's up? Says Turn the King. What's up? What's up, Ralph? Champion King L. Thank you. You guys are so cool. The main reason I made this episode is because I want to tell everybody who reached out to me, thank you so much. I had no idea. I'm not trying to fake be humble right now. I literally had no idea how many of you guys were actually watching me and sending me messages. People were checking up on me. People have found my Discord and were sending me messages on Discord. The Fresh and Fit guys on the Discord are mad cool. Yeah, man, I just wanted to kind of check in with everybody and just kind of tell you what happened. And then also just seriously, from the bottom of my heart, a big thank you. When I started this YouTube channel, I had no idea how many amazing people I would meet that would change my life. And I'm not talking about financially or personal gain, but I have met so many amazing, good, nice, just great people from this YouTube channel that I call my friends to this day. Some people I've coached, other guys just watched. Some of you guys came to meetups. The amount of happiness that me just not knowing what I was doing, just starting a YouTube channel in 2015 and just a young guy, I was 29 years old and I was like, I'm just going to fucking make content. I know I can help people because I was always getting girls my whole life. That's my story. I'm not trying to brag, but, I think the main special thing about me is I was raised only by women, right? I never met my dad. And so I grew up all around women all the time. So women were very demystified to me. And I grew up in a lot of chaos. I grew up, I told you guys, my household was a little fucking crazy. Single mom parent, me, my brother, sister, we all have different fathers. Hypergamy to the max, I live it to this day, and then, there was a portion of time my mom worked at a nightclub in Miami in the 90s to support the kids because you should make $700, $1,000 a night bartending in a club in Miami. You know what I mean? She had 3 kids. She was 27 with 3 kids, right? So I used to go to these Cuban nannies, and it was 1 mother and 3 daughters, and then they had adopted 2 boys as well because their mother was an actual crackhead. And then me, my brother, and sister all went to this lady's house. Her name was Mercedes. It was all women. It was Cuban women. That's why I love Cuban food. I love putting lime and everything. I love Spanish food in general because of that. And that's why I speak Spanish so well. A lot of people don't know I speak Spanish very well because I was raised by these Cuban nannies for a large portion of my life. But in that house, it was very fucking chaotic. There was emotional outbreaks often, spikes. There were great emotional highs too. Good memories, good food, parties, good vibes. So I was really just women were very demystified to me. To this day, they're just very demystified. And I wanted to bring that to the world. I wanted to do that through the Modern Life Dating channel. And I did. And, for the first 4 years, I got 800 subscribers. I was 880. I just hated editing videos and uploading. I didn't like it. I was like, 2019 is when I changed to the live stream model. And then, I'm just better character live for you guys who've actually met me. You know what I mean? And, it's like you guys see when you meet me, it's the same person. You know what I mean? I'm the same person. So, it's really, I'm just so happy to freaking, I'm seeing all these comments now. There's a lot of trolls in the chat. That's hilarious. That's funny. Welcome to everybody who's new here. Um, but yeah, Mark Class 377 says, "What happened, bro?" I'm gonna tell you. So, we started live streaming on the channel, and boom, we blew up. And then, changed my life. YouTube has changed my life. So I'm gonna tell you guys about what happened. So, first reason, a lot of people are asking me, "Oh, did you go to Asia for all these medical treatments?" And it's in the description box below. I got 3 medical treatments related to sports injuries. Starting on December 18th, I got both of my ACLs fixed in my knees because when I was 19, I was training, I was kicking a sandbag, and I jumped up with my right leg and I kicked like straight up, right? And when I kicked straight up, I landed back down on my left leg only, and then it snapped the ACL and broke it completely. And I was too dumb at that age to even know what the fuck was going on. I was like, oh, I just sprained my knee. I was just kept saying I sprained it. And I kept on re-injuring for many times over the years. And I just kind of just tolerated it, I didn't know what was going on. My mom didn't have any money to take me to the hospital. And, I was just like a young fucking idiot. And then I guess over the years, training stuff, the right knee was overcompensated and it was torn as well. We found this out on accident because the third surgery I got was the pectoral surgery. And what happened was I had injured my pectoral back in the day, but then this day I was benching 200 pounds, right? So let me tell you guys a little weight training secret. If you ever catch yourself where you're like lifting something very, very heavy and you're like struggling to push it and get it up and like it's not moving, by just holding it at that static place, you're going to start losing strength and hurt yourself. And that's exactly what happened to me. The spotter I was with at the time, it's fucking retard, wasn't really paying attention. Shout out to Stop Market Steve. Fucking the left pectoral, then I felt something rip. This was January 2024. So I went to a doctor. That this time I was still living in Tokyo. I went to a doctor, and I guess this guy was an idiot. There's one of two things I'm thinking. Either this guy was a fucking idiot, or he was like a racist Japanese that didn't want to like refer me to the hospital because some Japanese are like just like all these fucking gaijin motherfuckers using up our resources and shit. Like, but you have to, if you have a residence card here, which I did at the time, you have to legally be signed up for medical insurance, and it's like $80 a month, right? But then when you go to the hospital, like I had in October 2024, I had a bone splint in my elbow from Muay Thai, hitting always with my right elbow, and it grew. It was like the size of a guitar pick. So I got that surgery, everything, and when I had surgery at the time, the cost was like fucking, I think like $1,200-$1,300 to get a full surgery, everything, hospital stay, everything covered, because I had Japanese resident medical insurance. Japanese insurance is some of the best insurance in the world. Highest quality too, which I'll get back to why we did that in the Asia arc. So this doctor told me, he was like, oh, I think you're fine, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, you're a doctor. I should just listen to you. Wrong answer. So I go back to, I just start working out in the gym. I listen to this fucking idiot, right? Shout out to you, Jeremiah. I do have collagen. I'm taking collagen every day. You know your stuff, Jeremiah 59. You know your stuff. So then I go back to the gym. I go back to the gym a couple weeks later, start exercising, and I'm pretty sure I kept on re-tearing it. And then I went on an extreme fucking cut, and I got in really, really good shape. I was really lean in like summertime of 2024 because I was like, just fucking crushing it, and wasn't working that much. Crypto was booming, you know what I mean? And so I took 6 months off for YouTube just because I wanted to get in shape and I wanted to like reset my mind. Looking back on that, never going to take a long break like that ever again. But at the time, it is what it is. But during that time, I noticed anytime I did anything related with my legs, both of my knees at the base of the knees would have a sharp, sharp, sharp pain. Really sharp, to the point like I couldn't really train legs. And one time when I was doing leg extensions, I was going up like this, and my left leg starts like shaking out of control, like as I'm lifting on the when you do some leg extension, you go boom, boom. You know what I mean? This one in the gym, right? The weight's on where my fingernails are, and I was doing that, and like my left leg was like, like mad fucking tweaking out. You know what I mean? So when the fucking leg wasn't getting better, I went to another Japanese doctor and I was like, yo, what the fuck's going on with my legs? So this rocket scientist also doesn't fucking MRI, does everything. And he's like, yeah, you're fine. I'm like, what the so I was like, what the fuck? And I was just thinking, like, I need to put more muscle on my legs. Maybe I'm too top heavy. That's literally what I was thinking. I even was hitting up Brandon Carter. I sent him a video and he was like, I don't know. That seems pretty weird. So you should get that checked out by a doctor. That's why I went to the doctor. So the knee wasn't getting better and the right knee was starting to hurt too. And so one of the guys in my passport bro courses, we have a Telegram chat. He's from Korea. And his work was, and I met up with him when he came to Tokyo. I said, what's up? He's really fucking the sweetest, nicest guy in the world. I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you all the stories, the surgery, parts what I was awake for, everything. So don't touch that dial. Make sure you hit that like button too, because I'm going to, guys, I have gone into hell and shook hands with the devil to make a deal to get out recently. There has been a massive blood sacrifice that I have gone through. These last fucking 40 days. Yeah, it's about almost 50 days that I've been going through all these surgeries, not including the face stuff. If you want to talk about the Korea, when my face puffed up from that shit, going back to that, that's like December 9th when I got the dark circles taken care of. They're still healing now. And I had some touch-ups under my chin. And I look like a fucking panda. And the video's on this channel. You know what I'm talking about, right? So I have been through it. And when I scheduled all these surgeries, right? Let me go back to the story. So, anyways, the guy in the Korean guy from my passport bro company, he used to be a surgeon's assistant in this hospital that specialized in knees. And I was asking him, I sent him a message like, "Hey, can you like tell me what's going on? Because I'm having these kind of problems." And he's literally been in like hundreds of surgeries for this shit, right? He's been a surgeon assistant. He's a Korean guy, and so I finally go to an MRI to get an MRI, and I mail it to the doctor in Korea. And he's like, the doctor in Korea immediately started. He's like, hey, he's like, has nobody fucking told you like both your ACLs are ripped? And I was like, what the fuck? And it made sense, right? This was in about like, I had that done earlier in 2025, about like March is when I started digging into it, right? I still had the Tokyo crypto show running. You know, Trump just became president. Bitcoin was doing a lot of crazy shit. So I didn't want to do the surgeries and stuff. I was kind of put it off. And then, you know, the bull market ended and fucking, you know, I said, well, hey, listen, if we're going to do this, we got to do this now. So I aggressively planned all those surgeries. Now, why I did it in Asia, very simple. American doctors are some of the worst doctors in the world, okay? Not like en masse. The quality of medical training in America, the training, because America, they want to make money. In Asia, the people that do these medical training stuff, it's usually a family pride thing. And so it's like, my father was a dentist, I'm a dentist, my mother was a dentist. It's like my dad was a pediatrician, my mom's a pediatrician, and I'm going to be a lot of historical roots in Asia. So it's more about a family's honor. You know, they're not incentivized to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. Some do for sure, but it's not like America. I think like some of the average salaries for a doctor here is like somewhere around like, you know, 70K, 100K initially. Not that much. And then what that does is because academia is so heavily weighed upon in Asia. You know, there's like cram schools. There's like a side hustle. There's cram schools all over Korea, cram schools all over Japan, where people go to study and become good academic people. This is in China too. It's a very Asia thing. So the quality, like the standards that are required to pass these medical certifications to get a doctor, nurse, whatever the case may be, are extremely high. And they're very rigid and structured with how they do things, but the quality is higher. One of the guys who watches from this channel hit me up. Even I didn't even know about this. Justin Waller too. Fresh told me Justin Waller has had 5 shoulder surgeries because there's so much bad doctors out there. Also, in addition to that, a gentleman who watches this channel, it's John Flicks on Instagram. He reached out to me, said, yeah, when I had my shoulder surgery in Southern California, surprise, surprise, I fucking, the doctor, when he cut my shoulder open, he cut some of the ligaments and we had to go back in and fix the shit that he cut. And I was just like, are you crazy? Like, can you guys imagine? Forever who's never had a, let me tell you something. I have internationally proved this. I'll talk about this. Female incompetence worldwide in Korea and Japan is also in my story. Believe you me. Lord have mercy. People in general are just dumb, but some of these bitches have almost fucking killed me. But the academic standard in Asia is just higher. So the quality of the medical treatment is better. And this guy, like I said, in Southern California, the guy who watches Joe, his shoulder was fucking. Can you imagine that? Getting surgery, waking up, and the doctor's like, "Hey, so sorry, we actually fucked you up more." And you're like, "What?" That's you wake up to that news. Like when you have surgery and you wake up, it is a very scary because you wake up, you have a fucking gigantic wound. You know what the chest was. The knees, thank God, they were arthroscopic, so they're just little cuts. But my knees swelled up big. This was, as you can see, way more traumatizing. I have 2 gigantic fucking scars. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I show you guys the video. Ugh. I might as well show you the video. I will have 2 big scars on my chest. The knees are okay, no scars there because it was done arthroscopic, which is like they take like a little tube. And that's what I got done in Korea. So at the end of the year, I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking go. I'm gonna fucking, just duke it out. Go to Asia, get it done, right? Because I just turned 40, and you got to think to yourself, right? Healing is directly correlated to age, and special quality of healing and speed of healing. So I'm the youngest I'll ever be right now, right? And so I just figured, you know what? I've got to fucking do it. I've got to just go bite the bullet. I just didn't think it would be as hard as it was. I kind of YOLO'd too hard, if I were to be very honest with you. Because these surgeries were fucking brutal. So the first stop on the trip was Seoul. I went to South Korea. I flew into Seoul, and then I went there to a hospital that was in a place called Wonju. Right, it wasn't in Central Seoul. It was in Wonju, and so we get there on the 17th. We check into the hospital. They did not have a private room, so the stay in the Korean hospital was not gonna lie, it was pretty fucking. There was two stays we did at the Korean hospital. So luckily, I had a beautiful young woman with me to take care of me the whole way, and this is why I'm telling you guys it's so important for game. This chick, is in her 20s, and she literally took care of me like I was like a crippled fucking old man. She didn't ask me for money, nothing. And, this chick's great. And that's why I'm just saying like game is so important, guys. Cause God, like if I had to go do this shit by myself, they would literally probably be impossible. It would just probably be impossible because Jesus Christ, man. The shit I went through was insane. So we go to Korea, we waste no time. So we check in the hospital, and on the 18th, we do my right knee. So this is the first nightmare part of the story. So if you're like squeamish or you have a sensitive stomach or you, you just fucking can't handle stories of gore and medical torture, quite frankly. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I went through some serious medical fucking torture, to say the least. I'm gonna send some pictures to myself here from my phone and show you guys. So they get me into the operating room, and so the treatment and procedure we were going to do was the following. We were going to replace the ACL. And then we were going the new ACL. I am officially part Korean now because I have a Korean dead guy's or woman's, probably a man, ACL in my right and left knee. So that was part one of the surgery. The second part I did as an upgrade. So another thing is Korea leads the world in stem cell technology. And if you don't know what stem cell technology is, stem cell is the fastest way you can heal on the planet. It literally turns back the clock. The hands of time are turned back. You know, I think somebody got some gifted sub. Is that? I got a notification here. Shout out to Ken Rose. Thank you so much for gifting one membership. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, send her super chat. Billy posted the link here. Thank you, Billy, for being here. Click on that link, streamlabs.com/Modern Life Dating Channel, or just send a super chat if you want to get your questions in, or just ask a chat at me in the chat. Whatever your way of supporting. And if you're watching now, again, please hit the like button. I'm going to be coming back and doing a lot more content, and the likes on the algorithm help, guys. So thanks so much. So we go into the fucking goddamn surgery, and the second part of the surgery is I am going to get stem cells in my cartilage as well because of two parts. One, my knees, because there was no ACL, the cartilage was still intact, but maybe starting to thin out a little bit. You can see the bone. There's like, that's what crack means. Sometimes your cartilage cracks because between the top of your bone of your thigh and your calf, your knee is connected, and there's synovial fluid in your knee. It's like this organic lubrication your body makes so your knees can move, right? And there's cartilage on the top and bottom. So I was getting some stem cell injections to grow more cartilage in your knees because your knee cartilage doesn't really grow back on its own. You, for the most part, have a limited supply. So by getting stem cells, my cartilage in my knees is going to grow back, and it's allowing me to continue training into later age. You know what I mean? And like I said, and the ACLs were torn. That's another problem there. So MLD, Return of Korean Zombie. That is hilarious. Yeah, I guess I am part of Korean Zombie, eh? That is so funny. So let me show you guys some pictures. So because my friend who helped me do all this, he was in the operating room with me. Thank God. This guy, Mr. Kim, is the fucking sweetest, nicest, amazing guy in the world. Okay, because to get the stem cells, all right, to get the stem cells, they have to extract them from a part of my body. Okay. And the part of my body that they have to extract them from is my pelvic bone. All right. So sorry, I'm just trying to get these pictures to, let me see. Okay, here we go. All right. So I'm going to show you some pictures. So that is me on the operating table. This was for the left knee, but you can see what was going on here. I'll tell you about my Korean experience, and I'll tell you about the Japanese experience. So in order to get the stem cells out of my pelvic bone, they had to drill into my pelvic bone to extract them. And then the next picture is very gruesome, so your discretion is advised, right? But that is your boy right there. So you see that bruising spot, that bruised area here. Okay. So this is what I was awake for this part. And this was a fucking nightmare. All right. This is the most, probably one of the most traumatizing things I have ever experienced in my entire life as an adult person. Okay. So at first they take a needle that's like about 6 inches long and they put it into your spine. So I was awake for this. Why I was awake, I have no fucking idea. But Korea, the way they were doing things, and I love Korean people. These people saved my fucking life. in my opinion, some of the procedures are a little barbaric. Okay, because I was wide awake for the shit. I could have been asleep because I went through surgery in Japan, and I'll compare the Japanese experience to the Korean experience. No disrespect to either people's. I love both the people. Both fucking saved my life, but I was awake. So they put this 6-inch long needle into my spine. I'm screaming, and the Korean guy, you see my hands are right there. I'm already passed out. This is after it's done. But previously, the Korean guy was there, and this guy was so nice. He was holding my right hand. You know, we were doing like this Spartan bro hold, and I was squeezing. You know, and this guy's the nicest fucking guy in the world, man. And so he was fucking, you know, holding my hand, and I was holding his hand, and then they put this needle in my back, and then from like 10 minutes later, from the waist down, I couldn't feel anything. I was completely paralyzed. I couldn't move my feet. I couldn't move anything. Again, I'm awake for this. So then they take this long medical needle drill, and they drill into my fucking pelvic bone. So they went in through my ass cheek there, as you could see, and then they fucking put this goddamn needle in me. And when it hit my pelvic bone, I could feel pressure. I didn't feel pain, but I felt like they hit it. And I guess he had like a medical hammer or something. He took the part of the drill off, and there was just the drill bit with a head next to it, and he hit with like a hammer, and it broke into my pelvic bone. I didn't feel anything, but I just felt when that hammer hit, I felt my entire skeleton be shaken in my body. And like I screamed from fear and everything. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I was like freaking out. And then they got the stem cells out from my pelvic bone marrow. That's what they extract bone marrow. And then they administered the anesthesia, and I passed out and I woke up. We did one knee at a time. So this is what I did that surgery twice. The second time I went there, the guy with the needle fucking had to do multiple shots, and I was screaming a lot that time. The guy doing the needle, he just was having an off day, I guess. They anesthesia to numb me from the knee down again, and I was screaming a bunch during the needle part. And then they're like, started saying some shit in Korean, like, okay, my friend was in the operating room again. This happened 5 days later, and he was like, okay, we're gonna give you an anesthesia. You're just gonna pass out, and we'll wake up after. I was like, okay, thank you so much. I'll see you on the other side, you know. And then so this is what the end result looked like. So that's where they use you can see I have about 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts where they had these micro cuts on my legs, and they put cameras in, and they did the surgery. The surgery was a total success. As you can see here, I do have bolts in both of my shin bones now. You see that? So I do have bolts in there. And previously, this is my left leg. This is a hollow cave. My ACL should be there, but it's not because it was fully ripped. My right knee, you can see this is this part right here where the mouse cursor is. That is the torn ACL. So it was partially there. And this is when they drained my knee. There was a tube in my knee. This is after the surgery. I had to do this for both knees. So they pulled that out. So is it lengthening surgery? No. That's funny though. A lot. Am I nude? Thank you, Angela Romero. No, I'm not. I can be for you, baby. So that was the surgery. So that's just explaining the surgeries, right? So the recovery, because I did both knees, is very hard. So after you do the surgery, your body senses the damage in your knees. So what it does, it floods your knee with blood and liquid, and your brain literally turns off the neural connection, the brain connection, the synapses in your mind to your quadriceps. So you literally cannot move your body, your quads. Your quads are like, you have to do what's called quad reactivation, which I did. Okay. And doing, because when I did the first right knee was not that bad because my left leg was still healthy and I could kind of hobble around. But after the left leg was when hell started to unleash. So the plan was to check in on the 17th and then check out on 31st. And I had rented an Airbnb. But the problem is I was having when they're drilling into your bone. I made 2 project files in ChatGPT to fucking track the pectoral recovery and the knee recovery, right? So I was using AI the whole time. All the medicine they gave me, I would take a picture of it and plug it in AI. I'm like, what is this? And I was like, I need the strongest painkillers. So in Korea is the winner if you want to feel no pain after surgery, right? So right out of surgery, I had fentanyl. And I understand why everybody is addicted to that drug. Okay. I understand why people are addicted to fentanyl because that shit is amazing. Okay. I'm not encouraging anybody to abuse drugs, but they gave me a little IV line with a button that I could just push and fentanyl would come into my body and make me feel better. I was pushing that shit around the clock. Okay. They only give you 1 per surgery, but after the left knee, for some reason, when you get surgery on the second limb or the second surgery, your body reacts way more. So keep in mind, they're drilling into my bone, drilling shit into bolting me back together with an ACL, quite literally speaking. All right. So think of the trauma. I have bone trauma. I have muscle trauma. I have skin trauma. Yeah, I have joint trauma. So there was a night, unfortunately, that because the fentanyl, they can give you the push button one, and then they give you a little drip later if you request it, right? But when it runs out, there's like an 8-hour delay between, because when you get on the fentanyl, you feel good within like 5-10 minutes. When you get off, after like 8 to 10 hours later, the pain starts sneaking up and then it hits you like a fucking train. So this was the craziest night of my life. So one night, I was going to the bathroom. The girl here that was with me, she was helping me get on the toilet. And we were just doing some positioning wrong. And I twisted my left knee. And I didn't feel anything at the time. And there's no damage done because I was still on that like down slope from the fentanyl. But at 4:00 in the morning, I woke up one night and I was not staying. We were in a shared room, and baby, this is off of my feet. It was 4:00 in the morning. I woke up and I felt something happening, and I was like, "Oh God, what the fuck's going on here?" And then I started feeling my fucking leg and my knee, my left knee, and then the pain was growing and growing, and it was exponentially going up quickly. And it got to the point, guys, it was like the mind leg knee. I don't know what the hell happened, but I guess the fading of the pain and the twisting earlier, because we were 3 days out of surgery when we did that. And my leg started fucking hurt. My knee was hurting so bad. I was hunched over, grabbing my knee, like screaming and crying at the top of my lungs because I had never felt such extreme pain like that. And the nurse came in and she fucking rolled me over and put like some needle in my ass, fucking gave me some opioid that stopped the pain. But for those, that was like probably 2 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of pain that I felt. I was screaming and I woke up a bunch of the old people on my floor, and there's like all these old Korean women were like screaming at the top. They're like, "What the fuck? Shut this motherfucker up!" And Korean people are very passionate, very passionate Asian people. And so I went to sleep and woke up, and then we got me back on a fentanyl bag. So then on the 31st, we were scheduled to check out. So we checked out. I'm in a wheelchair. We're going to this Airbnb. The Airbnb advertised that it was a house on the first floor. Turns out it was an apartment on the 3rd floor. So I had to crutch my way up on 2 fucked up knees. And when I got to the top, I literally had to butt scoot up to some of these stairs. So I sat on my butt and scooted up the stairs. Um, I was just too stupid and hard headed. I was just like, fuck it, I'll just do it. And I just like basically tricep pressed up the stairs and got up the stairs. Like I did that for like 2 flights of stairs because ran out of energy. So then I got to the bed. It's the 31st, and they gave me some pain medicine, but like it was this bullshit weak pain medicine. And I started getting extreme pain again. Like really, 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 really bad pain. Really bad pain. And so it's bringing in the New Year's, and I'm like, fucking just can't sleep. I sleep for like maybe 2 to 3 hours. And I wake up in the morning, my knees still hurting. I'm like eating all the fucking painkillers they gave me, which was nothing. Like some of the shit they gave me was like ibuprofen. I was like, are you guys kidding me? So I called my Korean friend back up. And I said, Mr. Kim, I'm so sorry. I said, listen, man, I'm in a bad place. I'm going through so much fucking pain right now. I was like, is there any way that I can get back into the hospital? Like, I paid for everything out of pocket too. No insurance, nothing. He was like, let me call. So he called them and he says, yep. He's like, listen, we'll get you back in. And he said, I have some good news. We have a private room, because previously I was sharing this room with this Korean guy. And if you guys were following me on Instagram, you heard when I kept on updating this guy snoring. Like this guy was like snoring in the middle of the night and having full conversations in Korean. And I'm like, I know that sounds like I'm making this shit up for YouTube. This guy was like having full blown conversations. This guy in his 40s, fat guy, and farting in his sleep and like a gremlin, this guy. And so me and the girls were weird. It was funny at times, but the problem is I couldn't sleep. I was averaging on my Aura ring here. This tracks you on hours of sleep you get, and gives you like health markers the whole time from December 18th to December 31st, right? I was sleeping 2 to 4 hours. If I was lucky, I got 6 hours a night. And keep in mind, the whole time, all day, I'm in this like lively ass Korean hospital. One time these fucking 2 families started arguing with each other and screaming at the top of their lungs. And, that shit just like never happens in Japan. Remember, I've been living in Japan for like 10 plus years, right? So I was shocked too. So I wasn't sleeping that much. So I wasn't healing a lot. So this time, like we have a private room. Obviously, it was more expensive, but at least, thank God, me and the girl, we could just be in there, and we could, because when we were sharing with this guy, his mother was with him. She was an older Korean lady, and she was nice to us one day. And so I told him, I told the girl, I was like, hey, listen, go to Krispy Kreme or something and just buy them like a set of donuts, because gift giving is like a nice thing to do in Asia, right? And so we gave her some donuts. We were like, hey, because she would help me get into my wheelchair sometimes because I was fucked up. She would like run over and try to help me. I was surprised at how heartwarming, loving, and supporting Korean people are. It's not like that in Japan. They are definitely not like that. There was one time when I was wheelchairing up a fucking ramp by myself. Some older Korean woman saw me in the distance. I guess she was working for the building because she had a sweeper in her hand. Saw me, her eyes lit up, and she put her shit down and like ran over to me and was pushing me. And I was like, wow, just fucking wow. Like, what a genuinely fucking nice person. What a sweetheart of like, and there was a lot of that in Korea. I was very shocked. I was very, very, very shocked at how warm and loving a lot of these Korean people were. Right. And so I was just like blown away. So now we check back in on the 31st or the 1st, and it was good because I could do some rehab while I was there. And the private room really helped. I was able to get more sleep more. And sometimes when you're a foreigner in Asian countries, no matter what they say, they kind of like just disregard what you're saying. It's like, listen, I am an educated American person. Like, I understand I'm a foreigner here, but like, I am a smart, educated person. Like, you need to listen to me. Because sometimes I would request medicine and they would be like, whatever, and not listen to me. But this is where game comes into play. So this shit would never happen in a Japanese hospital. Never in 1,000 fucking years, okay? But one guy, he heard I was a YouTuber, he's a very nice guy, and he spoke English, right? There's a couple people, not a couple of the nurses, it was a team of men and women, and this guy was super fucking cool. And one time he saw that I was just suffering, he's like, look, man, he's like, I took these painkillers from the fucking medical closet. Like, here, bro, just take this shit and like, don't tell anybody. A Japanese guy would never, ever, 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 a Japanese person never, ever, ever would do that, especially for a stranger. Maybe if you had a connection, maybe if you like they really, really, really loved you, but like just for some fucking, dark fucking foreigner motherfucker. This guy is a fucking amazing guy, bro. Amazing fucking nice guy. So he hooked me up, and that's where like having good social skills and having game skills, because there's girls too, right? Like the older Korean nurses, I would flirt with them, and just like to like just kind of make the stay easier, and kind of like when I needed extra painkillers or medicine, because anytime you want painkiller, especially if it's an opioid, like the head nurse has to approve it, right? And it's just like some cold-hearted bitch in an office that doesn't even come out and look at anybody, And so you have to like kind of game the staff to get in there. So he hooked me up. I was able to rehab, and then I flew back to Tokyo on January 7th, right? I still couldn't walk. I had to get some business class tickets. I had to arrange for wheelchair service. That's the first time ever that, fucking, that I used wheelchair service. And in Asia, they really take care of you. Like in Korea, they met me at the curb. My Korean friend dropped me off. Right, he again, nicest guy in the world. I gave him like because he helped me out a bunch. I paid for his gas for his car. I gave him some money. Initially, when we came, I gave him some money for like I think I gave him like about $500 because he took me to the office one whole full day. The first time I came through to check initially, that was like when I had the stuff for my face done. I also went to that clinic, did some MRIs, did all the stuff, and he took a whole day out of his day. He didn't really want me to pay him, but I was like, dude, just take this. Let me pay for your gas. Let me pay for all the food that we eat. And we went to restaurants and stuff. And I was like, and let me just give you $500. And then he also came back and drove me from the Wonju to the airport. And he lined up the wheelchair service. So the drive was an hour. So you do have to drive 2 hours. And he came to the surgery. He helped me out. And that time I was like, look, dude, let me just give you some money. And I gave him like $1,000. Not a lot, but he would, he's helped me out a couple days, and he, I don't want to be a stingy person, I think. And he was just like, if I didn't have that connection, A, I would have my knees fixed, and B, I had a way smoother experience, even though it was extremely fucking painful. Because the whole time I was in the Korean hospital, it's like, you're just fighting knee pain and trying to move your legs and reactivate your quads again. And learn to like you do practices to stand. Like you can't even stand. Like we're gonna practice standing today. Like if you can stand, God bless you. You don't realize how grateful you are, how good you have it. Like for me to stand, 30 seconds was my max initially. And then I was walking and stuff, but like everything is just pain. I'm underslept. I'm eating this terrible Korean food. The second time we came back, we ordered the meal plan the first time for the hospital food. But like in Korea, and I'm not exaggerating, it was like we were eating kimchi around the fucking clock. Like it's kimchi for breakfast, it's kimchi for lunch. What's for dinner? We got some sides of kimchi, and we got some kimchi beef, got some kimchi chicken, we got some kimchi pork, we got some kimchi fried rice, like everything's kimchi. We were like, all right, like we're fucking kimchied out. No offense, but I was just kimchied out of my brain. And the second time we just went and got a bunch of takeout, and I wanted to eat. I wasn't getting enough protein, and I wasn't getting enough sleep, because when we came back to the hospital again, I was like doing research in AI, and I was like, I am not healing at the rate that I need to heal. So I was like, I need calories, I need protein, and I need sleep. That's the only way I'm going to heal right now. And like doing like trying to move around is just like, my fucking that's my daily exercise. Like my legs would be fucking exhausted, right? So he dropped us off at the airport. They picked him up in a wheelchair from the fucking front, past security, past the front of the line. Awesome experience. straight to the front of the plane. Don't have to wait for anything. I bought some business class tickets too because I didn't want to sit in a small economy ticket class flight because both my knees were fucked up. I think you can understand. I wanted to lay down and shit. So I got a business class tickets from Gimpo Airport to Haneda. So we get to Japan. The Japan experience is way different. Like the day-to-day kind of Japanese people, men are a little like more klutzy and nerdy because in Korea, these guys are capable. Some of these like just random taxi drivers were like helping us out, like, helping me walk and shit. Right? Like super nice people, the Korean people. And every guy in Korea, you're mandatorily, no matter what, because South Korea is technically at war. Every man has to do 2 years mandatory military service, unless you get some kind of exemption, which is like very rare. Like 90 something percent of all Korean men have served 2 years in the Korean military. So they're hard and badasses more so than the Japanese guys. I get to Haneda. We go to the taxi line. I have a wheelchair. I'm trying to get in the car. This Korean guy, not this Japanese guy, was a klutz, and I kind of hurt myself standing up. I fell backwards into my wheelchair because this guy was just not communicating with me. This Japanese dude, he's an older guy, look at his 60s or something. Anyways, we head home. So now I'm just laying down crippled every day in Tokyo. Then after talking to the doctor about the shoulder surgery or the pectoral surgery, because my pectoral was ripped here and then it was ripped off because your pectoral muscle is attached to your shoulder, right? I went to this doctor because his name is Dr. Hiroyuki Sugaya. If you type his name into AI, Hiroyuki Sugaya, he's one of the best shoulder surgeons in the world. So he saw this and he was like, this is a fucking cakewalk. He can fix me. The Korean doctor that did my stuff, he used to be the head of a Korean military hospital. He was the head of arthroscopy at the hospital. He was the head fucking doctor, right, for the arthroscopy department. So he has done and overseen, he's in his 50s now. I don't think it would be crazy to say thousands. He's done this literally thousands of times, or at least done and overseen thousands of cases. Because, guys in the military, when the whole country has to go to the military, like, yeah, some guys are going to blow their knees out training, ACL, MCL, everything. The Korean doctor was a funny guy. This guy was like always cracking jokes. He's like, he was a captain. He went to Johns Hopkins in America. He spent some time in America. So he understood it. And I was the first foreigner ever to go to this hospital where I wasn't a Korean resident, and Korea is really conservative. So I had to wear this hospital gown, right? And if sometimes I would just take it off, because it was so hot in that room. They were blasting the heat. We would sometimes open the window, and then like at nighttime, if it was too closed, their mom would like wake up and close the window, and like we were like, she's Japanese, I'm fucking American. We can't like fight them, fight them on their soil. So we just had to deal with that. So one time I had my shirt off, and a nurse came in. She was like, oh! Like she was just really shocked. And the girl I was with, sometimes she was wearing some shorts and like her tummy. She was wearing a really short, like skimpy kind of when her belly button showing shirt. And one of the people scolded her. One of the Korean staff scolded her, like, "Hey, you can't be wearing shit like that around here," And so the experience there is just completely different, and in good ways and bad ways, right? But just any additional stressor we really didn't want to deal with at the time. So I get to Tokyo. We go to see the Dr. Sugaya, and we go to check in on the day of the surgery. This is 23rd. He checks my chest. He's like, okay, we're going to reconnect this with surgery. And we got a super chat. Jeff Rose says, I have a random question. You believe in ADHD? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's good, though. What's up, Wild Bill? Wild Bill says, good to see you doing better. MLD. Let me see your comments, guys. John, I've been reading all your comments, John. You're a great guy. Makes me appreciate health and pain-free moments. Absolutely, God. Absolutely, brother. Oh, my God. Yes. But it's a spark of my health goals for optimal health. Prevention, doing the work with a disciplined mindset is what your battle is. Resurrection. Yes, man. Yes. I'm telling you, bro. I have a whole new lease on life now after this, guys. I am so grateful just to be able to stand and watch the sun, because I've been trapped in these rooms forever. So on the 23rd, we go there. I get to Dr. Sugaya. They lay me down. So they they take me into the operating room. Everything is pristine. Everybody's fully geared up. Nobody's really having too much chit chat. And there was some female doctor who was like, okay, talking to me. She's like, we're going to make you go under anesthesia now. So they use the gas one. So like, okay, we're going to put this on your face and you just take some deep breaths and you'll pass out. And it was one doctor on my left, and then her hand was next to me, and I was like freaking out because anytime I do the anesthesia, I freak out. Like when they do the anesthesia tip, there's two types they can do it. They can do the IV one. It's like a milky substance, right? So you watch the IV drip milk go down, and it slowly goes down the IV, and then goes into your arm, and then you fucking, next thing you know, you start feeling warm and fuzzy, and then you wake up. It's fucking, it's creepy. It's gnarly. It's gnarly as fuck, I'll tell you. It is giga gnarly. This one, though, I was a little scared, obviously, you know what I mean? And so her hand was next to me, and I held her hand, and she fucking made me get knocked out. I wake up later, and we got the cut. We got the fucking, you know, we got the wounds. We have 2 big cuts on my chest. And the process was good because this was kind of crazy about the Japanese side. They were like, yeah, we're just going to do the surgery, and the next day we're going to send you home. But in my experience, what I'd gone through in Korea, I was thinking to myself, look, there is no way in hell we're just going to go back home. So we started researching hospitals, and we actually asked Dr. Sugaya, because after the surgery, he came by. He took some videos of the surgery, which I'm going to show you guys now. He took 2 little videos of me during the surgery. So again, viewer discretion is advised. If you're a very squeamish person, if the pictures and videos of the Korea surgery made you uncomfortable anyway, you definitely do not want to watch this next part. Okay. Because this surgery was far more gory, to say the least. Okay. And so you've been warned. And I'm going to show you now. Okay. So they had to reconnect my pectoral to my shoulder. And what you're about to see now is live footage taken by Dr. Hiroyuki Sugaya himself. You're going to see me cut and mutilated wide open. So stand by. So those are the 2 cuts. So on the left-hand side here, you can see this is me on the, actually, hold on. Let me go back. 1 second. Apologize about that, chat. Here we go. Okay, cool. So here we go. There we go. So that on the left side here, that is the incision of my pectoral muscle. And then on the right side is where they cut me open to reconnect it. So they bolted and stitched the muscle back together and bolted it to my bone. So here you can see. So you can see. That's them testing the initial stitch part of the surgery. That's me treating me like I'm a fucking Humpty Dumpty puppet or something. So pretty scary, pretty brutal, pretty wild. Somebody says, "Is that gyno surgery?" And no, it is not. Hey John, how much do you guess all the surgeries cost you? I have probably spent $50,000 in total, including flights, hotels, paying people, taxis, medical transportation, surgery costs, hospitalization costs. I am probably in the 50. It's about 50,000, maybe a little bit more or less. I don't know, but around definitely more than 20, definitely more than 30, definitely more than 40. So after the surgery, we transported from Dr. Sugaya's hospital, Tokyo Sports Orthopedic Clinic. He was nice enough, and Dr. Sugaya is a different kind of guy. But this guy is a very prestigious man, very serious guy. But he's been spending time in America, so he's a little bit more internationally minded. And this guy was super cool to me. Fucking nicest guy ever. They stitched me up. They stitched me up using internal sutures and some kind of medical glue. So there's no stitches under here. I'll show you some of the pictures right now. So that's me recovering in the hospital that he gave me the introduction to. That was a couple of days ago, but right after surgery, it looked like this. I'm going to have two gigantic scars, as you can see, medically taped up, no stitches. And then this is a couple of days ago. That's me. As you can see, the bleeding spread from the operation site, and I was bleeding under my skin a lot. My left bicep got a lot of blood pooled in it too. So that was pretty extreme. So that's the hospital I just left. So I was in that hospital from January 24th until today, February 4th. In that hospital, so the Japanese hospital experience is completely different from the Korean hospital experience. First of all, in Japan, everything is so fucking strict. Everything is so by the book. And we had checked in, and first we went to like this little room, right? But it was like a little mini room. It was like, 150 to 150 bucks a day, right? But because I had the girl with me who was taking care of me, the head nurse had to come. He's like, listen, Japanese rules don't permit us to let two people stay in this room. And we're like, can you have some humanity here? It's like, it's not even like they're running out of rooms or anything. They had extra rooms, but like, because the rules say this, we need you to stay in this type room, which is coincidentally the $500 a day room. Right. I don't think they were trying to finesse us, but it was just, it was a bigger room. It was like a hotel, really. Had its own bed, had its own private shower room, had a sofa, had a desk, and had a little bed for her to sleep on. So we stay in that one room that one night, and then we transfer to the VIP room. And in Japan, you can't get fentanyl at all. You have to be literally like dying from cancer. The second round in the Korean, I forgot to tell you this, the second round back into the Korean hospital, I told him, like, look, I'm going through extreme pain. I was like, please give me some Oxycontin. Like, if you guys don't know Oxycontin is like one of the stronger fucking pain pills in the world. It's an opioid, and it fucking is amazing because that shit worked. They were giving it to me in Korean, and I got like 2 weeks supply. I was asking for 3 weeks. They said no. They gave me 2 weeks supply to get through the pain here. Because when I was recovering from the knees, waiting for the chest, I was laying down in this room often, and like just to walk 30 seconds with crutches would kill me, So the good news about going into this hospital, once I was in the VIP room, they're like, "Hey, listen, our hospital policy says like if you can't walk on your own, like because your knees are fucked up, like we have to keep you." And I was like, first of all, fuck you. I'm leaving when I'm leaving. Okay. But I was like, okay, I do need some professional rehabilitation. So they ordered for these guys to come through, and these part of the Japanese process, these people would just come in, these guys, they would rehab department, physical therapists, and they would just massage my knee, move the kneecap, massage around the knee area, loosen it up. And then that would take like 20 minutes. And then from there, they would fucking, um, you know, stand up, and I would stand up and I would walk around or do some exercises, little things like, squeeze a ball between my legs, stand on one leg at a time, little things like that. And, thank you so much. This is a very nice person. Please, dear Lord, bless this young man with the job. He needs it. Amen. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. God bless you too. What's up with all these haters coming there? You were my favorite gay YouTuber. Thanks. What is all this? We got a lot of random haters coming through today. That's pretty funny. Anyways, thank you guys for everybody being here supporting me. Thank you. I'm just going to tell my story for some people that they might, have some medical problems. When if you need advice, believe me, I'm like a fucking almost an expert at this point. So I've just was doing all the therapies, rehabbing and stuff in the bed, but the room, and like it's so cold in Tokyo, and like the way the room is set up, it was either really hot or really cold. So I was only sleeping 3-4 hours a night, and there would be nights that I would wake up just completely drenched in sweat because, like, again, my body's like literally traumatized and trying to heal. And so, you know, um, yeah, just got out of, finally was getting better every day. Didn't have the job. We learned from the hospital food in Korea that don't do it. So unfortunately, we had to eat out a lot. I was eating a lot of Mexican food. There's a place around the corner, not really around the corner. It's pretty fucking far. But I was just getting protein in, drinking my collagen, drinking my protein, vitamin C as well. And here we are. Here we are. So one sec. All right, sorry. So we just delivering something. Anyways, yeah, we just got out, man. So all of it's done, guys. And I just want to tell everybody about this. This really changed my perspective on life because, by doing all these surgeries and going through all this stuff, you're closer to dying because your body's like, fucked up. And it just gave me a lot of perspective to be grateful. No matter what you have, if you're in a first world country and you're able bodied, you can fucking, you can recover. You can make a good life for yourself. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And I wanted to say, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Just wanted to give you a quick story on everything. And I'll try to be back as soon as possible. I'll keep you updated. Until then, peace out.